What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Project Highrise. If you're a old fogey like me, you'll remember back in the 90s there was a game called Sim Tower, basically where you built a tower or a skyscraper, and you had to handle, think of it kind of like Sim City, but in one building. And Project Highrise is kind of like the spiritual successor of that game. Unfortunately, it's been damn near 20 years, so I don't remember all the details of Sim Tower other than the fact that I loved the hell out of it. So I can't quite give you the stark differences between those two games, although I will say probably Project Highrise is going to have some more technology, way better graphics, and a lot more to it. This game does have a $20 price point. Well, I'm sorry, $19.99 price point on Steam. I believe it just came out past a week or so. And I did go through the tutorials last night and played the beginnings of a game just so I could kind of get the feel for it. I will say the entry level difficulty is pretty easy, and then it kind of gets a little bit complicated after that, which, pretty good pacing, if you ask me. There are a couple different ways to play this game. First off, there's the tutorials, which will walk you through all of the basic user interfaces. Mods, if there are mods, I have not looked at that yet personally. You can modify the game. Most likely these games usually are pretty decently modded, so I'm sure we'll see some pretty cool stuff from the community. It does have Stream Workshop integration, so there's already stuff out like plants for your offices, gamer offices, and a few other things. This is just a brief, 10-second look at the, at the workshop. So I'm assuming that's going to expand over time. Looks interesting, though. Looks interesting. So let's look at the basic scenarios. There is a pretty decent list here. You can see merchandising market. This is depressing. And each of these have their own difficulties and their own assignments, so to speak. So, like, for instance, the merchant market, your job here. Let's see, what is our job here? Your challenge is to duplicate that achievement. You've got the same lot size and height restrictions as the mart. You're also starting with a subway station and embryonic commercial center. Create a commercial empire under one massive route. So these are all going to give you basically something to work with, some form of constraint, and some goal. If that's something that you enjoy doing, then these are here. And like most of these types of games, you're going to have 3 different tiers of success. Most likely basic, completion, slightly above average, and then amazingly ridiculous. We are, however, for this going to be doing just a normal game. With this, we do get to name our name. So we're going to call this TDK Tower. Leave it at that. There are a bunch of different difficulty settings depending on what you guys would like. I'm just curious. So engineer, start with a good amount of money. The economy is solid and tenants easy to find. Start on a regular sized empty lot. If we do architect, start with a small amount of money. The economy is solid, but costs will be higher and revenues lower than in standard mode. Okay. Developer, start with very little cash on hand, so you will need to take out a loan. Expect the economy to be depressed before it improves, and costs will be higher, income will be lower. Unhappy tenants will move out faster. Wow. And then, of course, contractor, start with a very generous amount of money. The economy is hot, and tenants will be plentiful and paying well. And then we've got the different sizes. You've got standard, narrow. Narrow means you're not going to be able to go out as wide, but you can go high. Short and wide means you can't go tall, but you're going to be thick. And then extra large, it's the best of all worlds. We're just going to do standard, and we're just going to do engineer for our first playthrough. If this is a hit and you guys like it, then we'll probably do more than one. So let's, there's some advanced options. Initial random state. Random number generation starting point. It influences everything in the game, including tenant selection, city economy, and more. Interesting. So I'm assuming I could tweak that number if I so choose. I won't at the moment because knowing my luck, I'll end up, somehow spawning myself on like a desolate No Man's Sky world, and then we'll be screwed. Let's fire it up and see what we got. Okay, so I'm going to go through the basics. First off, we're going to pause. Thankfully, just like most strategy games, space pauses. You can press 1 and 2 to speed the game up from normal to fast, which I like. And then you're going to see up here in the top right-hand corner, we have some little boxes. The first one is basically your mission. I think they call them contracts. Yes. So basically, I need to hit $1,000 as my daily rent goal, and then it shows what yesterday's rent was. We're also very, very, very zoomed in here. I believe, no, hang on. There we go. This shows how wide our little structure can get, how low. We can go 10 floors down, and we can go, oh dear God. Oh, holy shit. We can go almost 60 floors up, so 59 floors up. So a total of, really, 69 floors. Developer, you are filthy, bro. Although, considering there's a 0 floor, it's actually 70 floors. So I take it back. I didn't mean to call you filthy. Thought you were kind of freaky, is what it is. Let's see. This is going to display the utilities. You can see all the different lines are kind of running in down here. Each of those has its own different setup. You can see right here we've got TV, phone, and power all in this little box. Let's see. And then I think there's one more. I think this is the happiness level. We don't have any tenants, so you can't see how happy they are. But it does kind of give you the idea. Think of it just like in SimCity or something along those lines where, there's traffic. Instead of, crime and things like that and pollution, you're going to have smells, trash, noise, et cetera, et cetera. So you definitely want to keep certain tenants happy. For instance, residential people aren't going to like, having the really loud office right next door. They're going to get kind of pissy about that. Let's go over the rest of the user interface. Down here, this is prestige. Think of that kind of as your progression through the game. The more people that you have, the cooler your building is. And there's going to be a lot of specialized structures. Well, I guess I should call them rentals. I don't know, specialized little buildings, sub-buildings that you can put inside your main building that do different things. Think of them as like offices, apartments, restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. This is your actual population, shows how many people work here. And then this is your people who live there. So work and live. Obviously, your money. Down here, we have your buzz. Now, buzz is kind of, I guess it's like your marketing stat. When you pull this up, it does give you a lot of different options here to kind of advertise, so to speak. For instance, if you were a commercial setup, then you might want to increase your foot traffic, your aesthetic appeal, your architectural biennial. That's a very fancy word, sir. Anyways, as you progress through the game, you will get more and more of these open, and you can do more stuff with them. And each of these individual things will have different benefits and perks, and they last for 24 hours. So basically, if you want to get, let's see, gas and cable construction costs and daily expenses minus 50%. So maybe you're going through some trouble financially, and you need to reduce the costs of your utilities while you move people in. You hit this, and it gives you a 24-hour break. There's a variety of reasons you might want some of these different things, and they're all very situational. And then down here we have influence. Influence comes from your apartment residents and from select offices. Influence, I actually haven't messed with this very much, but you can see it does, as it raises, it unlocks certain things. So aesthetics are going to allow you to kind of decorate your place and make it look better. Politics, I guess, is going to be, interesting. So this basically keeps, rain will no longer keep people from visiting your restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. Height limits. Ooh. City code current limits your building to 60 floors. Lobby City Hall to get this limit up to 120 floors. Good God. 120 floors? Holy shit. Zoning restrictions limit your total floor space to 4,000 tiles. Lobby commission to extend your floor space limit to 8,000 tiles. So that basically is going to extend the base, I think, by double. So you can actually kick your thing up 120 floors and double your width, I believe. That is absolutely ridiculous. So you can kind of get a feel for how big this can get. You start having to really deal with some pretty complex issues. And that's just the base look at the game. We haven't even looked at all of the different stuff. So let's look at the construction stuff. This is how you kind of extend your tiles. Each one of these little sections is a little plus. They have different costs. And like I said, we can go up 59 floors, 10 down. And then there is a maximum width, which is here and here that you can go. It does allow you to kind of, expand, but you got to be careful in how you do these things because you are confined to a tower. So think of your entire tower as kind of like your SimCity world. And, if you don't plan carefully at the beginning, things get kind of hinky later on. You have stairs. These, you can see one right here. It does allow you to go from this floor to this floor without having some form of stair or elevator. You're not going to be able to go up and down, which really is going to make it useless. Well, you can't even build it otherwise. Elevators, and then an uprated elevator. Oh, doesn't need to start on the ground floor. Interesting. Interesting. There's a bunch of other stuff here. Staff, trash, storerooms, transit. All of these you kind of need as you go on. Different like offices and things like that require different perks. Like for instance, if you want the high-priced lawyers to move into your office building, then you might need a Starbucks to keep them happy, along with maybe a filing room, copy room, and maybe some form of delivery service. If you're going to have apartments in your building, which you can see right here. If you want apartments, you're going to need to have trash collection. Otherwise, you're basically setting up a slum. It's going to get pretty out of control. And then different structures require different intermingling needs. So for instance, residents might also need a grocery store inside the tower, which is kind of interesting. You'd think they'd be willing to leave the tower, but no, we lock the doors. We don't let anybody leave. Same thing with offices. For instance, certain services might need certain suppliers, i.e. if you're going to have a doctor's office in the location, you might need a prescription service as well. That way that you can keep them all, supplied, I guess. So think of it very similar to the symbiotic nature of residential, industrial, and commercial in SimCity. Very similar stuff, except with this one, you've got residential, you've got office, you've got restaurants, and then retail stores. So you technically have 4 options here. And each one of them have their upgrades. So you can see with residential, it starts with tiny studio, 1 bedroom, small 2 bedroom, large 2 bedroom, duplex, and then expensive loft apartment. All of these have their own requirements. You can see right here, to get to this one, you need a prestige level of 15. So definitely gets more and more difficult to keep these guys happy as time goes on. Offices, you have a small office, medium office, large office, and then allocate space for an HQ suite. For retail stores, we can't even click on it, unfortunately, yet. Restaurants, you have a small restaurant, medium restaurant, large restaurant, and gourmet restaurant. You also have artworks that you can use to kind of lift things up. Construct office, or what is this? Offices for building consultants. These guys give you different perks. You have aesthetics, politics, operations, and then you have the basic services that I was kind of telling you guys earlier: courier, bottled water, janitorial services, copy services. For the other one, you've got handyman, plumber. A lot of these are required for different groups. So, if you want to keep certain people happy, you need to have that. You can see all of your statistics over here. Shows you your tenants, your services, population, art and aesthetics, basically everything. So if you're kind of curious on certain things, you can kind of find it here. Also, for things like prestige, you can hold your cursor over it and it will show you your benefits and your drawbacks for your current rating. So, what's keeping me from, getting to 2 or to 3 or to 4 or whatever. So if you're trying to target that specific thing, that will help you do that. And then finally, we have contracts. Contracts are kind of like your questing service. So for instance, right here, we have the baseline contract that you just start with. Proof of concept, you just have to hit a daily rent of 1,000. And then over here, you've got some more options. You can get more people. So they just want you to have 50 people in it. Or you can go here with 16 different types of small offices. So we're going to go with the office type. And the reason I'm doing this one over this one is this one's a little bit easier to get, I believe, early on. And should be good. Keep in mind, you can only have a certain cap of these, only 2 contracts active at a time. And it does scroll down, so you can kind of pick out multiple contracts. This may or may not extend over time. So let's go ahead and start the game. Well, up here you can see the different offices that we need. You can see there. Let's get things started. We are now kicking things on. We have nobody in our place at all. And I think I'm going to just kind of expand our little area here, I guess initially. Let's see, how much does it cost to add a tile? Let's see. Doesn't tell me. I guess okay, it's $10 per tile. So we're gonna add 2 on the outside. That's for our elevator. That's where our elevator service is going to go up. And then we're gonna add a second floor. I wanna keep kind of our lobby empty. And then we are gonna add an elevator Oh, I guess we're going to have to add one more side. That is one of the trickier parts of this game, is figuring out how big some of this stuff is, because if you don't have the what do you call it, the right size, you can't move things up. And considering you do have your cap on the right and left, especially when you start getting to the outer edges, you may not be able to do what you thought you were going to be able to do. So you're going to want to definitely be conscientious, so to speak, of your sizes. All right, so let's look at setting up some offices. We need 16 offices, so we're going to want to have a fairly decent amount. So let's see. That's going to be, what is that, 4? I think it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 basic. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we go one more over, that would give us 5. That's kind of an odd number, so that would give us enough for 10 offices. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. One more open spot. There we go. And then I want to do one more whole floor, I think. Well, 5. That's 5, so that's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. That will give us the ability to, whoops. Shit. Now I have 1 extra spot. And then if I do this, we can have 8 and 8, which will give us 2 floors of everything. And then we go like this, and that should set it up. I think I went 1 floor over on the far right. I guess I'll find out here in a second if everything's set up right. Okay, so one of the other things that you're going to notice is right here we have a utilities box. Now these utility boxes we can find right here. So you can see used to collect electrical, phone, and cable TV conduits between floors. Now the interesting thing about this is, like for instance, we're going to need power on all 3 floors. So if I do this right there, you can see, and I didn't realize this last night, but the utility closets are the same. So you don't need to add, like for instance, if I want to run cable, I don't have to run another one. If I want to run phone, I don't have to run another one, because they're all part of this, as you can see right here. Unfortunately, it doesn't count with water, and you can see I can't put a water one right here. Now you do have water underground, which is perfectly fine, but you don't have it up above. So I guess it's kind of nice that I have this set up right here. Now this is going to allow us to do water and gas. So we are going to use that extra accidental slot over here once I'm sure it works, and then we'll run water all the way up through our building. So let's go ahead and make sure everything's good here. We'll run our power lines real fast. I just realized this is in my lobby, so technically not needed, but that's fine. Burning through a lot of our initial cash. Now I do have things on the sped up mode, so these guys are going to run a little bit quicker than normal. All right, let's put our first office in. Make sure we're all the way to the right. There's 1, 2, come on, 3, I don't know if you guys saw that little unhappy face there. There's 4. Okay, we're not going to be able to go any further than that. Okay, let's rent our spaces. All right, so when you rent the space, we're going to pause again. You have options for all of these different groups. So each of these different offices have different specializations, and each of these have their own rents and own requirements. So for instance, right here, I can't do this because we need a greater variety of small restaurants, and same here, need cafes, and need at least prestige level 1. Now creative offices, in my experience, they're really good. They're really good. Now we have to get all of these. So we're going to start off with our insurance guys because we have to have 4 of them, which is fine. So we don't really care which ones we get because we only have access to 4. Whoops. There we go. Now if we click on this guy right here, you can see I want to grab some dinner, but where? So we're going to need to set up some restaurants. We'll get to that here in a minute. In fact, we might set... Do we want to set that up in our lobby? Have all the food on the first floor? I guess we can do that. I can do that. All right, so we really only have one option. Let's set up 2 restaurants on our bottom floor. All right, so food court restaurant. Here, this is your daily allotment, by the way. It shows how much you spent and how much you're making. Now, the total expenditures here, I think includes how much you actually physically spent, not much how much your daily what do you call it? Your daily costs are, which is a little weird. You can also do ADA reports, and you can fine tune rates, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know exactly how that works yet because I haven't messed with it, but something that we could do. All right, so let's do fast quality soups and bagels. That's going to give us both kind of a breakfast and lunch oriented type deal. Keep things unpaused, and we'll let things kind of roll there. I don't know how those guys are building the different places. You'd think the tenants that we hired would do that for us, but I guess not. I guess not. So we have 4 new insurance companies that are going to move in the morning, and hopefully 2 new restaurants. The other nice thing about this is it's going to give us access, hopefully, to the new structures. Of course, we got to wait till they finish cleaning everything up. It is kind of interesting how our little dudes work all day, every day. This poor bastard has to show up for work at 6 o'clock. Well, actually, he was there at 5:45. Damn, that's hateful. Damn, that's hateful. Yeah, work hours 4:30 to 6 p.m. Ugh. You have my sympathies, brother. Okay, so we've already got 4. So 1, 2, 3, and we are 1 short. So let's go ahead and add this little structure here. And we'll let that continue through. And you can see our little insurance people here. If we click on them, you can see their happiness levels and what they're missing or not missing, et cetera, et cetera. All right, let's click on this. We've already got our insurance offices, so we don't need any more of those. But let's say we wanted more insurance offices. We could click this little button. It would cost us $50. We'd run an ad in, I guess, the yellow pages or whatnot, and possibly get some more people. All right, let's do our 2 accounting offices here. We are going to have to run another ad for those because we are going to need some more. And we do have the ability to have 5 legal offices. Again, we only want 4, and we need prestige level 1. Now, it's kind of interesting because it says we do need a wider variety of cafes. We have 2 different types. So I'm a little upset. Okay, this guy doesn't have phone service. We got to fix that, and we got to fix that now. So let's go phone service. And again, from our little box here, we can run this straight over. We'll do the same thing up here. We might as well run it down here because you never know who might need it. Probably a little wasteful. Oh well, such is life. Once that finishes over, it should beef this guy up and we shouldn't have any more problems with him. Now let's do another accounting office. We'll do the 125. Hoping this guy's going to finish this one over here so we can get the last accounting office in here. And I'm a little concerned that we don't have phone service here. Oh, we don't have any phone switch services in the building. That would explain why. Yeah, we have none. So we're going to put a phone switch board right there, which is going to hook the entire building up. And now everything's hooked up. Okay, and you can see this guy's all pissy because he didn't have phone service. So now he should have the phone service that he needs. Let's see, these are the accountants, right? I guess we'll find out here in a second. Put that there. I guess we'll have to wait till... Shit. Okay, that's going to give us our final accountant. We'll do 130. Okay, so we now have 4 accountants. Well, we will, I guess, as soon as that thing gets built. 4 accountants and 4 insurance agencies. So let's go ahead and go up top and build all these. There we go. Unpause. And then this one, we're going to do legal offices. And you can see as you kind of progress down the list, you start making more and more money. Now, not always. Certain, like this one down here, only willing to pay 130, which is kind of shitty, especially for a lawyer. He must be like a complete ambulance chaser. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so for this creative type, we want the creative one. We need more prestige. To get to the next level of prestige, we need 20 people working here. Apparently, I don't have power up here, or we don't have enough power. Let's look and see. Power is run, so if we don't have enough power here, that just means we don't have enough juice here in our little setup. It says total production is 10, total demand is 14, which means we simply don't have enough demand. Now, you can expand these rooms. So you can see right here, this room's getting bigger. So that's something that we want to do. We could. Later on, it might get more efficient that way. For now, we're just going to add another electrical room. And that's going to kind of wire in more stuff, and we'll be okay there. All right, so let's look at another restaurant. The question is, can we add a different type yet? We can't do a cafe until we hit the next prestige level. So I can set up another food court place, but not until we get... Because we definitely need a cafe, which we can't do until more people move in. Which I may not be able to do until we actually hire more people. So I may end up having to do more offices over here. I kind of don't want to, especially not for 130. Well, I guess that legal office is better than the rest. And see, that's the problem now is if I do that, I guess I can just set this up and do one food court tenant. He's only paying $100, but it's something. And if that brings in 3 more people, then I guess it works. Let's go ahead and expand our bottom floor down here as well. There we go. Because I have a feeling we're going to need more. And I am tempted to go ahead and just finish off the elevator here as well. There we go. And that way I can get rid of the staircase. Because we don't need it anymore. That way everybody can get up and down the stairs. All right, so setting this up did add 1 more person. But unfortunately, that's not putting us up at 20. Which means I may have to hire a couple more. Now, I mean, I could add more restaurants, but the other problem is these restaurants can start competing against each other, and if you have too many, it may not work out. So you got to be careful with that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to expand our little floor over here to the right and add some residential. So let's just do this all the way over. That's not too bad. Okay. And we're going to let all that build in real quick. Did I not place that one there? Guess not. And we're going to let these build up for a second. Now, I got to be careful because... Oh, proof of concept. Yeah. There's our money. So since we've done that, we've hit our proof of concept, we can now get another city contract. So let's see. We have a couple. So we can do studio apartments. The Department of Housing would like to increase the stock of housing available in the city for newcomer towns. They think studio apartments are best for that. Construct 10 of them, and they'll be grateful. So let's make sure I can actually make studio apartments before we go. Tiny studio apartments. It doesn't say that I have to do a specific one, so I guess we'll do that since we were planning on doing that anyway. So let's do this the studio apartment thing. Interesting. Can you help out by a place that serves breakfast, a place that serves lunch, and a place that serves coffee? Well, I wish I could do coffee, but I can't yet. So we'll do this one. Okay. We're going to let these guys kind of go through. Now, while they're doing that, we're going to try and figure out how many of these we can have. Now, you can see this is a lot bigger than the other one over there. Not only that, but these can't be on the bottom floor, apparently. They can only be up here. If we hold our cursor over this, it should tell us. Valid placement above ground floor. So these guys are a bunch of pretentious assholes, and they need their own little special place, which I guess is fine. What we're going to do then, since it has to be above the ground floor, is we're going to set up our water down here. Because remember, we don't have water set up yet. I don't think. Did we set up water over here? Negative. I thought about it, but we didn't get around to it. Okay. So let's do our little water setup. Because they are going to need water. And we need you here. There we go. Now that's going to water everything up. And then we're just going to run that straight up to the top. But let's make sure it's okay first. So first off, how many of these can we do? So that's going to be, what is that? So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm not going to be able to run the water here. We just, I mean, if I want to maximize my housing situation here, we're just not going to have room. However, what I can do is I can actually use that. Yeah, we are going to do that. Now, the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to need other things up here, and it's going to be kind of better for us, I think, this way. Ooh, can I deconstruct that real quick? Yeah. Let's see. How big is the trash that we're going to need? I always forget where the trash services are. Yeah, it's not there. Hang on. Politics operations. Son of a bitch. There we go. No, not there. There we go. Trash. Okay, so to do this, we need trash and recycling, which thankfully we got plenty of room down here. So we're going to set up our trash bin here. We're going to set up recycling next door. And then I need to set up trash bins all the way up. So if we do trash... We want a trash collection spot, so 1, 2, 3. We want a recycle collection spot. Now, this isn't actually needed for every... And I just realized I don't need it on this bottom floor at all, but we'll leave it there for now. Now we'll do water. And I'm trying to keep a distance between these guys if I can. I think I already kind of fucked things up, but... Oh well, it's my first real playthrough. Give me a little bit of slack. There we go. All right, so now we have water all the way up, and then I can go like this. And I don't think we need it on this floor yet. Okay. Let's go ahead and start moving people in. Hopefully this is big enough. Now, the question's going to be, that's going to be 1, that's going to be 2, and that's going to be 3, I think. So we'll do this one right here, and then right there. Okay, and we'll find out exactly what these dickbags need. Obviously, they're going to need power, too. I just realized that. They're definitely going to want power. It's like, hey, I can't make any phone calls or have any lights. What the shit, bro? Don't worry, dude. I got you. I got you. All right, and then probably going to need to do TV through there as well, which thankfully we have hooked up here as well and everything else, although I don't have TV down on the bottom floor. Don't know why I keep doing that on the bottom floor. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, so you can see we're basically out of money at this point. So we're going to take a small loan. We're going to do $5,000. That should allow us to do what we need to do. And then I'm going to build the TV spot right there. There we go. Okay, unpause. That will hopefully make everybody happy. That also gives me a 2-spot boost from this stuff here, which hopefully isn't going to piss these guys off. I guess I'll find out here in a minute once they move in. And then we'll do another residential area over here. Now, keep in mind, we've got to build 10 of these. So we're going to get 3 here, which means we're going to have to go up. And we're going to have to go up big time. There we go. So basically what? 4 more floors up, technically? All right, so you happy? You not? He seems happy. He doesn't seem to be upset about anything. Okay, good stuff. I like how he just like sadly is looking out the window. Like I kind of feel bad for the dude. All right, so creative types, we still need a variety of cafes. So since we have to do that stuff down low anyway, let's see if we can't open up 2 cafes right here. So cafe number 1. We'll do coffee and tea. And then cafe number 2. Cafe serves coffee and lunch. Coffee and breakfast. Let's do that one. That's going to give us 2 different cafes. And then let's get the rest of the top moved in up here. Okay. Still pause. Whoops. Deluxe studio apartment? Yeah, let's do that. More monies. I like more monies. Okay, we're minus 300 a day. That's not good. That means we need to get all this. Oh, shit. What are they missing? Power? I thought I ran power to you guys. Nope, apparently not. There you go. Problem solved. What are you missing? We can't function without a gas hookup? Okay, all right, fine. I'll get you some gas. Thankfully, I've already run this shit. Never done you guys before, so that's a little interesting, but that's okay. I have gas downstairs, right? No, I don't think I do. I do not have gas production. We might want to do that real quick. Shit. I guess we'll put it right here. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. What are you still missing? You should have water. Oh, we don't have enough water production? No, we got water. So did I just not run it to you? Fuck. We'll just do it to right there. That should handle them for now. Did they move out? Oh no! We got people moving out. Okay, so when people move out, it hurts you. You can see that we are definitely overutilized in the power department. So let's get some more power going before we lose any more people. There we go. That should fix that problem and keep these guys at least remotely happy for now. We're still minus 300 a day, but I have a feeling on the next 24-hour mark that's going to get fixed. All right, how are we doing here? We can do creative types. Good, good, good. Let's start at 185. And then we'll get 190? Hello. I'll do 175. And then I need to put one more lawyer up here since he moved out. There we go. I guess we just brought him back in. Is that what happened? I guess so. Now, there is a way to do your utilities here. Unfortunately, I don't really see a way to tell when our utilities are bad. So, I mean, you can click on them right here and it'll tell you. Like, we're at 90% on power. That's not necessarily good. We're okay on TV. Nobody gives a shit. But power, we're still run on. Okay, so we did get our offices thing knocked out. Let's make another power transformer if we can, just to kind of make sure that we're good. There we go. That should ease up the power requirements. How are we doing on gas? Fine. Water. Getting close, but we're still okay. Okay, let's look at our next contract. So that's getting to 50 people. We're at 33. We'll hold off on that. Development is looking for a model of sustainable growth. Daily rent revenues of 3,000 or more. And this one they won't let me do yet. What about this one? Survey commuter. They basically can help you out by adding a place that serves breakfast and a place that serves lunch. And a place that we've already basically got that one. Yeah. So we already completed it. So boom, we just basically gave ourselves $1,500 cash instantaneously. And I think we're fixing to hit this. So we'll go ahead and sign up as well. I think we're going to pop that really quickly. So we should get, I think it's at midnight. We should get our setup. Now our influence took a hit because this dude moved out. Never a good thing. But we're holding okay. And I wanna wait till our new day kicks over because then we'll be able to see where we're at. And you can see yesterday's rent was $23.60. I'm pretty sure we're gonna pop this as soon as this clicks over. Yep. That's what I thought. So we completed our contract. We are at $58.60 on the daily rent. And we're up to positive $5.45 a day. Now the question I have is, can I repay this? I can. Payments remaining $300 daily for 18, or one lump payment of $5,400. I think we're going to hold off because if I do that lump payment again, we're going to basically be broke, and we're only going to be getting $545 a day. So let's go ahead and finish off this studio apartment thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to construct we're basically going to do 2 new floors right here, like this. And the reason we're doing 2 is, again, because we can only get 3 per setup. Let's unpause, let them do their thing. While they're doing that, actually, I don't think I can do trash and all that stuff until they move up there. I think. I guess we'll find out here. Apparently I can. There's trash. We'll do recycling. Most people don't need the recycling, but hey, if they need it, we'll have it. Eventually, we'll be upgrading these guys, just maybe not yet. How are we doing on water? 70%. That means we're going to be running out. Let's go ahead and rehook up the water. And then we can just start filling in these residences. There's 1. 2. Might as well tell them to move in, right? There we go. Oh, really? Really? You couldn't finish the floor? Oh, you guys are dingbats. You guys are dingbats. Oh, yes. Probably want to run their shit to them, huh? All right, let's do power. Oh, not good. Hang on. There we go. Now I need power wiring closets going up. There we go. I must have misclicked. For a second there, I thought I ran out of money. I was going to be like, what the hell? All right, let's do gas. Which will just run right here. And then they're going to need water as well. I'm pretty sure. There we go. All right, that should make everybody happy at this point. As happy as these people can be anyways. Boom. And the nice thing is we've got everything split up here, so everybody should be relatively happy. How are we doing on power? We're getting close. Let's go ahead and build another power setup. Yeah, because if we... Well, We have 11 more people that we can add in. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. If I can get these 4 new people moved in, and we're going to go, it looks like we're going to go 2 over, which is fine by me. I'm going to let them finish the row, and then we'll move all 3 of them in. Come on. Did you guys go on lunch break? There we go. And did I get the utility set up there? I did. Okay, so we're fine. Okay, boom, 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 and boom, boom. That should make everybody more or less happy-ish. Now, he wasn't very happy. I want to grab some dinner, but where? Well, I would love to give you dinner, bro, but there isn't like any place to get you dinner. We have no places here. So we're going to go ahead and take the 50 people. And this is the only other contract we can get. We're in a revenue. Okay, yeah, we're going to hit $5 grand revenue. In fact, I think we've pretty much already hit it. Yeah. We will definitely be hitting that the second this thing loads up. So is there a place to make dinner? I mean, like, I don't think so. Like, even if I wanted it. Yeah, there we go. So we did complete that thing. Plus, we got buzz, which is nice. Okay, so food court, restaurants, cafes. This is going to be coffee and lunch. Serves coffee and breakfast. This serves coffee and lunch and breakfast. So this kind of sucks. Yeah, I would love to get dinner to these guys, but I can't. Lunch, lunch, lunch. Everybody does lunch. So I'm thinking to get dinner, we're going to have to get to this, which requires Prestige 3. And to get to Prestige 3, we need more people. We're going to need a lot more people. So I'm going to go... Shit, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to decline. Let's try that again, and then let's do this. Oh, shit, we have a fire. Well, it's not a fire. It's just a maintenance setup. I got to remember where the maintenance stuff is. Is it here? Yeah, maintenance office. Which we'll put down in the basement. There we go. That maintenance guy is going to get over here and he's going to be able to put that thing out real quick and make the elevator work. With maintenance stuff not working, then people get kind of pissy. All right, so we don't have water over here. Let's go ahead and finish that. He's probably going to want electricity too, you know, those picky, finicky restaurants and such. All right, so he's fixing that. That's going to speed up the elevator. Did we burn through all of our contracts? Yeah. This time they would like you to begin Diversity City's professional class. Plan 10 medium office buildings and attract a varied group. Is there anything else I can do? 1-bedroom apartments? Ooh. I'm actually kind of tempted to do those over the other, but I think we'll do the businesses since we haven't set those up yet, and that'll give us a reason to kind of finish this floor out so these guys aren't quite so by themselves. Let me try again with the restaurant. Put this here. Put that there. Cafes. Decline all. Pay for another. If we can get dinner. Now, cafes just may not simply be capable of making dinner. Now, I don't know if I have to keep my workers happy. It does seem like something I would like to do, but I may not need to. We have one potential guy. Yeah, it serves coffee and breakfast. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to work for us. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of it. Can I get rid of it? Let's just get rid of that dude. There we go. Because there's no reason for us to do it. Rent report. I guess these guys are just moving in and they're just taking their time. All right, well, it is what it is. Anyways, folks, that is a decent start to our Project Highrise Let's Play. It's also a decent look at the game for those of you guys that are kind of on the fence about whether or not you should pick this game up. We'll be continuing this in the next episode where we're going to try and knock out these 2 contracts and see if we can't make TDK Tower a little bit bigger. Once again, you guys can pick this game up on Steam for $19.99. Link will be in the video description down below. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. If you did, please slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next clip.